She called his name Ben Oni. Obi-Wan.
Kenobi?
Yeah.
The sister of Nebaioth. I don't know how to say. I really want to look that one up because that one.
Nebois.
That one.
Yeah, I would just say Nebois. For context to those listening, the way it's spelt is Nebioth. Nebois.
Nebois. All right. Oh, there's a YouTube pronunciation. Let me see. Oh, God, these ads. Can you hear it?
A little bit.
Nebaioth.
I don't know. I kind of like Neboith.
Nebaioth and Adah bore to Esau. Eliphaz, Basemath bore Reel.
Basement?
No, Basemath. You say base math? I feel like that doesn't sound right. Basemath.
It sounded like you said basement.
No, Basemath.
We got Neboith and basement.
Bore to Reel and Ohilabama bore. His names, man, they're killing me.
It literally is Ohilabama. Oholibama.
That's what it looks like. You're reading the same thing I am.
I know.
No,
I don't know why this is killing me. All
right. And Obama bore Jeush, Jalam, and Korah. That's a good name, Korah.
Dude, Ada knew how to name them.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's got me crying over here.
Oh, I know.
These are the sons of Esau who were born to him in the land of Canaan. He's got some whack names, dude.
Yeah, for real.
Pick something way better. Oh, these are the sons of Basemath, Esau's wife. This guy got a lot of wives, dude.
Esau.
These are the sons of Oholibama, Esau's wife. The chiefs Jeush, Jalam, and Korah. Oh, Lord.
I gotta say Jalam just to make us laugh.
Lamb. It's like jam.
Jalam?
Jalam.
Oholibama, Esau, Jalam.
And Korah. These are the chiefs born to Oholibama, the daughter of Enah, Esau's wife. These are the sons of Esau, that is, Edom, and these are their chiefs. Bela died, and Jobab, the son of Zerah, of...
I'm sorry, dude. Jobab.
Jobab.
Jobab. Jobab. Oholibama.
Jobab.
Yeah, it'd be nice if we didn't have a massive Whopper logo right next to our faces, too.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not even sponsored by them, so.
I know.
F them.
Or love them.
Oh. Yeah. That's true. You're right.
Yeah.
We gotta be more like Jesus, right?
Yeah.
These are the names of the chiefs of Esau, according to their clans and their dwelling places, by their names. The chiefs Timnah, Alva, Jetheth, Oholibama, Elah, Penan, Kenaz, Teman, Mibzar, Magdiel, and Edom. These are the chiefs of Edom, that is, Esau, the father of Edom. according to their dwelling places in the land of their possession. Wow. Fantastic.
Hey, I get to read about a dream. Sick.
Oh,
You took the brunt of that one, buddy. Appreciate
yeah, I really feel it.
that. Yeah. All right. I tried to follow that lineage line as much as possible, but I'm going to be honest, it kind of just went right
As
over
much
my
as it repeated itself, there's no way I'm going to remember that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want to
That
know
was
the
just too many
major links.
generations.
Like, I don't know. I understand it needs to go through these names because you want to see how everything's linked. But
Yeah.
at the same time, we just need the milk.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah, for real. We can't be eating solid food right now.
Not with this story, at least.
No, not yet.
So where did? Okay, I was gonna say, who's Joseph?
Joseph.
We read all those names, and I don't remember reading Joseph.
I only know this because I've read this before, but Joseph is the son of Jacob. He was one of the only sons born to Rachel.
Oh, okay.
The other one was Benjamin.
So is his name changed to Joseph?
Hmm?
Was his name originally Joseph?
Yes.
Oh, what? Wow.
Joseph is one of my favorite stories in the Bible. This is a really good one.
Oh, sweet. All right, let's do it.
And this concludes Joseph's story concludes Genesis.
Oh, nice. He's got quite a few chapters then, huh?
This is the one that I was telling Devin about that Devin was like, dude, that sounds a lot like what I've gone through.
Oh, really?
Just yeah, because Joseph becomes like an outcast. You'll see what I'm talking about. But he was really dug this.
Oh, okay. Let's do it, man.
All right. Jacob lived in the land of his father's sojournings in the land of Canaan. These are the dang it. These are the generations of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was pasturing the flock with his brothers. Oh, okay, cool. Don't have to read the lineage again. Joseph, being 17 years old, was pasturing the flock with his brothers. He was a boy with the sons of Bilhah and Zilpah, his father's wives. And Joseph brought a bad report of them to their father. Now Israel loved Joseph more than any other of his sons because he was the son of his old age. And he made him a robe of many colors. But when his brothers saw that their father loved him more than all his brothers, they hated him and could not speak peacefully to him. Now Joseph had a dream, and when he told it to his brothers, they hated him even more. He said to them, "Hear this dream that I have dreamed. Behold, we were binding sheaves in the field, and behold, my sheaf arose and stood upright. And behold, your sheaves gathered around it and bowed down to my sheaf." His brothers said to him, "Are you indeed to reign over us, or are you indeed to rule over us?" So they hated him even more for his dreams and for his words. Then he dreamed another dream and told it to his brothers and said, "Behold, I have dreamed another dream. Behold, the sun, the moon, and 11 stars were bowing down to me." But when he told it to his father and to his brothers, his father rebuked him and said to him, "What is this dream that you have dreamed? Shall I and your mother and your brothers indeed come to bow ourselves to the ground before you?" And his brothers were jealous of him, but his father kept the saying in his mind. Joseph sold by his brothers. Now his brothers went to pasture their father's flock near Shechem. And Israel said to Joseph, "Are not your brothers pasturing the flock at Shechem? Come, I will send you to them." And he said to them, "Here I am." So he said to him, "Go now, see if it is well with your brothers and with the flock, and bring me word." So he sent him from the valley of Hebron, and he came to Shechem, and a man found him wandering in the fields. And the man asked him, "What are you seeking?" "I am seeking my brothers," he said. "Tell me, please, where they are pasturing the flock." And the man said, "They have gone away, for I heard them say, 'Let us go to Dothan.'" So Joseph went after his brothers and found them at Dothan. They saw him from afar, and before he came near to them, they conspired against him to kill him. They said to one another, "Here comes this dreamer. Come now, let us kill him and throw him into one of the pits. Then we will say that a fierce animal has devoured him, and we will see what will become of his dreams. But when Reuben heard it, he rescued him out of their hands, saying, Let us not take his life. And Reuben said to them, Shed no blood. Throw him into this pit here in the wilderness, but do not lay a hand on him, that he might rescue him out of the air, that he might rescue him out of their hand to restore him to his father. So when Joseph came to his brothers, they stripped him of his robe and the robe of many colors that he wore, and they took him and threw him into a pit. The pit was empty. There was no water in it. Then they sat down to eat, and looking up, they saw a caravan of Ishmaelites coming from Gilead with their camels bearing gum, balm, and myrrh on their way to carry it down to Egypt. Then Judah said to his brothers, What profit is it if we kill our brother and conceal his blood? Come, let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him, for he is our brother, our own flesh. And his brothers listened to him. Then Midianite traders passed by, and they drew Joseph up and lifted him out of the pit and sold him to the Ishmaelites for 20 shekels of silver. They took Joseph to Egypt. When Reuben returned to the pit and saw that Joseph was not in the pit, he tore his clothes and returned to his brothers and said, The boy is gone, and where shall I go? Then they took Joseph's robe and slaughtered a goat and dipped the robe into the blood. And they sent the robes of many colors and brought it to their father and said, This we have found. Please identify whether it is your son's robe or not. And he identified it and said, It is my son's robe. A fierce animal has devoured him. Joseph is without doubt torn to pieces. Then Jacob tore his garments and put sackcloth on his loins and mourned for his son many days. All his sons and all his daughters rose up to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted and said, No, I shall go down to Sheol to my son, mourning. Thus his father wept for him. Meanwhile, the Midianites had sold him in Egypt to Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, the captain of the guard.
That's so messed up, man.
Yeah, dude, can you imagine like selling?
You really, sold your brother because he said that one day he might be over you.
Well, he had not even that. He had a dream about it.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. That just sounds like jealousy.
Oh, 100%.
Like deep down, they're like, we don't want to do that.
Well, thank goodness for Reuben, at least. I have like some compassion on him. He's like, what? Maybe we shouldn't kill him.
Still, though, I mean, he was still part of that like heinous act. Like,
yeah,
you could have stepped in and said, why are we doing this? This is ridiculous. Like,
yeah,
this shouldn't be, this isn't pleasing in the sight of the Lord for us to be like this toward each other.
No, I know.
But I don't know. I guess we all lose our ways, huh?
Yeah.
Some more than others. Still, though, bro, that's pretty wild.
Yeah.
All right. Judah and Tamar. It happened at that time that Judah went down from his brothers and turned aside to certain Adullamite whose name was Hira. There Judah saw the daughter of a certain Canaanite whose name was Shua. He took her and went into her, and she conceived and bore a son, and he called his name Er.
What a way to say that they had.
Yeah, they went into her. That's what it says every time. Like reading through Genesis, it's always he went into her.
Oh, I guess also if we want to post this to like
YouTube
and stuff, we can't say sex.
Really?
Yeah.
I know that you can't cuss in the first minute.
Yeah, I don't think you can't say KILL.
Really?
You have to say deleting. That's what people have been saying now.
Even if you were just reading it, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, they deleted themselves, is what people have been saying.
Bruh.
Yeah.
Anyway, where were we for? Yeah.
Yeah.
She conceived again and bore a son, and she called his name Onan. Yet again she bore a son, and she called his name Shelah. Judah was in Chezib when she bore him. And Judah took a wife for his firstborn, and her name was Tamar. But Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord put him to death. Then Judah said to Onan, "Go into your brother's wife and perform the duty of a brother-in-law to her, and raise up offspring for your brother." But Onan knew that the offspring would not be his. So whenever he went to his brother's wife, he would waste the semen on the ground, so as to not give as not to give offspring to his brother. Oh, good Lord.
You good?
Yeah, it was skipping around again.
Mm.
Okay. And what he and what he did was wicked in the sight of the Lord, and he put him to death also. Then Judah said to Tamar, his daughter-in-law, "Remain a widow in your father's house till Shelah, my son, grows up," for he feared that he would die like his brothers. So Tamar went and remained in her father's house. In the course of time, the wife of Judah, Shua's daughter, died. When Judah was comforted, he went up to Timnah to his sheep shearers, he and his friends Hira the Adulamite. And when Tamar was told, "Your father-in-law is going up to Timnah to shear his sheep," she took off her widow's garments and covered herself with a veil, wrapping herself up, and sat at the entrance to Enaim, which is on the road to Timnah. For she saw that Shelah was grown up, and she had not been given to him in marriage. When Judah saw her, he thought she was a prostitute, for she had covered her face. He turned to her at the roadside and said, "Come, let me come into you." For he did not know what she was, for he did not know that she was his daughter-in-law. She said, "What will you give me that you may come into me?" He answered, "I will send you a young goat from the flock." And she said, "If you give me a pledge until you send it." He said, "What pledge shall I give you?" She replied, "Your signet and your cord and your staff that is in your hand." So he gave them to her and went into her, and she conceived by him. Then she arose and went away, and taking off her veil, she put on the garments of her widowhood. When Judah sent the young goat by his friend to the Adulamite to take back the pledge from the woman's hand, he did not find her. And he asked the men of the place, "Where is the cult prostitute who was at Enaim at the roadside?" And they said, "No cult prostitute has been here." So he returned to Judah and said, "I have not found her." Also, the men of the place said, "No cult prostitute has been here." And Judah replied, "Let her keep the things as her own, or we shall be laughed at. You see, I sent this young goat, and you did not find her." Golly, it skipped all the way up again.
On 24.
About 3 months later, Judah was told, "Tamar, your daughter-in-law, has been immoral. Moreover, she is pregnant by immorality." And Judah said, "Bring her out and let her be burned." As she was being brought out, she sent word to her father-in-law, "By the man to whom these belong, I am pregnant." And she said, "Please identify whose these are, the signet and the cord and the staff." Then Judah identified them and said, She is more righteous than I, since I did not give her to my son Shelah, and he did not know her again. When the time of her labor came, there were twins in her womb, and she was in labor. One put out a hand, and the midwife took and tied a scarlet thread on his hand, saying, "This one came out first." But as he drew back his hand, behold, his brother came out, and she said, "What a breach you have made for yourself." Therefore his name was called Perez. Afterward, his brother came out with the scarlet thread on his hand, and his name was called Zerah. Wow, that'd be crazy.
Bro, if I was
Both the babies are like fighting to get out of there.
Yeah. Imagine sleeping with your son's wife.
No.
And also just
times were wild back in the Old Testament, though, bro.
He said he was walking down the street and saw her and was like, "I want to come into you."
Yeah.
Like Optimus Prime, I am coming.
I am coming.
I am coming.
There you go. That was a good one.
All right. Joseph and Potiphar's wife. Now, Joseph had been brought down to Egypt, and Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, the captain of the guard, and an Egyptian, had bought him from the Ishmaelites who had brought him down there. The Lord was with Joseph, and he became a successful man, and he was in the house of his Egyptian master. His master saw that the Lord was with him, and that the Lord caused all that he did to succeed in his hands. So Joseph found favor in his sight and attended him, and he made him overseer of his house, and he put him in charge of all that he had. From the time that he had made him an overseer in his house and over all that he had, the Lord blessed the Egyptian's house for Joseph's sake. The blessing of the Lord was on all that he had in his house and field. So he left all that he had in Joseph's charge, and because of him, he had no concern about anything but the food that he ate. Now Joseph was handsome in form and appearance, and after a time, his master's wife cast eyes on Joseph and said, "Lie with me." She got the eyes for Joseph.
Mm.
But he refused and said to his master's wife, "Behold, because..." Dude, he likes to say behold a lot. "Behold, because of me, my master has no concern about anything in the house, and he has put everything that he has in my charge. He is not greater in this house than I am, nor has he kept back anything from me except you, because you are his wife. How then can I do this great wickedness and sin against God?" And as she spoke to Joseph day after day, he would not listen to her, to lie beside her, or to be with her.
There's a strong man right there.
Yeah, for real. But one day, when he went into the house to do his work, and none of the men of the house were in there, was there in the house, she caught him by his garment, saying, "Lie with me." But he left his garment in her hand and fled and got out of the house. And as soon as she saw that he had left his garment in her hand and had fled out of her house, she called the men of the household and said to them, "See that he has brought among us a Hebrew to laugh at us. He came in to me to lie with me, and I cried out with a loud voice. And as soon as he heard that I lifted up my voice and cried out, he left his garments beside me and fled and got out of the house. Then
Wow.
she his garment by her until his master came home, and she told him the same story, saying, "The Hebrew servant whom you have brought among us came in to me to laugh at me. But as soon as I lifted up my voice and cried, he left his garment beside me and fled out of the house." As soon as his master heard the words that his wife spoke to him, "This is the way your servant treated me," his anger was kindled, and Joseph's master took him and put him into prison, the place where the king's prisoners were confined, and he was there in prison. But the Lord was with Joseph and showed him steadfast love and gave him favor in the sight of the keeper of prison. And the keeper of prison put Joseph in charge of all the prisoners who were in the prison. Whatever was done there, he was the one who did it. The keeper of the prison paid no attention to anything that was in Joseph's charge, because the Lord was with him, and whatever he did, the Lord made it succeed.
Wow.
Talk about the wicked woman from Proverbs, huh?
Yeah, dude, for real. That is just awful for him.
You know what he was probably running through his head at that time? Like, man, I should have probably just done it. You know, like as like the reason he wasn't doing it, like pretty clear. You know what I mean? But then like, you're danged if you do, you're danged if you don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for real. I would have been pissed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I
So,
put up all that effort to resist you, and I'm still in jail. This
yeah,
is some bull.
easy for him to resist. I mean, he's got like a high up Egyptian wife coming after him in the same house as him, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure he was real tempted.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Especially that time when nobody was in the house.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd be like, all right, come on, man. Like, I mean, unless she ugly or something.
Yeah, she might have been a no-go. But yeah, dude. So at this point, he's been sold into slavery by his brothers. He's been taken off to a faraway land, made a slave to a commander. God treated him in this position, made him high up, and then his wife, the Egyptian's wife, lied and got him cast into prison. Like, can you like just imagine what's going through his head right now about like everything going on?
Dude, yeah, talk about ups and downs in life, man. Like,
yeah.
I mean, and that just shows like the kind of journey that we go through, because we all go through, you know, some crazy ups and downs in our lives, you know, some more up than others, some more down than others. And, you know, that's where you just have to be faithful in God, and God will take care of you, you know, because you're going to get tested, especially as you get closer to him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, too, like if you're thinking about like his position, you really only have like two options to go off of right there. Is you can, one, be depressed and become bitter and angry.
Yeah.
Or you can put your faith in God.
Right.
Like there's really no in between there. Like what else are you going to do in this situation? Like, I'm happy I'm in prison without God. Like, how does that
yeah. Yeah, you're at this like the loneliest point of your life. Nobody, well, I don't know if there's other prisoners in there, but I mean, really, like you have nobody to talk to except for God. As long as you got God, you're all good, man.
Yeah. I mean, like, well, no, I'm going to sit here and be depressed and angry, and I'm going to become bitter and resentful and think about killing everybody that wronged me. So.
And it is, in this world that we live in, it's so easy to fall into that. That's why we have to be really careful and grow closer to God so we don't fall into that.
This could be a villain origin story.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, this is like the Joker's origin story. You know?
Yeah.
Except Joker didn't have God, Joseph did. And like, there's more to the story, too. Like, you're about to see what happens with Joseph. But...
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to keep reading?
Yeah, we can keep reading. All right. Chapter 40, Genesis. Joseph interprets, huh?
Who read that? Did you read that last one or did I?
No, you just read the last one.
Long day.
I mean, if you want to keep reading.
Saturday. No, I'm good.
Joseph interprets two prisoners' dreams. Sometime after this, the cupbearer of the king of Egypt and his baker committed an offense against their lord, the king of Egypt. And Pharaoh was angry with his two officers, the chief cupbearer and the chief baker. And he put them in custody in the house of the captain of the guard, in the prison where Joseph was confined. The captain of the guard appointed Joseph to be with them, and he attended them. They continued for some time in custody. And one night they both dreamed, the cupbearer and the baker of the king of Egypt, who are confined in the prison, each his own dream, and each dream with its own interpretation. When Joseph came to them in the morning, he saw that they were troubled. So he asked Pharaoh's officers who were with him in custody in his master's house, "Why are your faces downcast today?" They said to him, "We have had dreams, and there is no one to interpret them." And Joseph said to them, "Do not interpretations belong to God? Please tell them to me." So the chief cupbearer told his dream to Joseph and said to him, "In my dream there was a vine before me, and on the vine there were 3 branches. As soon as it budded, its blossoms shot forth, and the clusters ripened into grapes. Pharaoh's cup was in my hand, and I took the grapes and pressed them into Pharaoh's cup and placed the cup in Pharaoh's hand." Then Joseph said to him, "This is its interpretation. The 3 branches are 3 days. In 3 days, Pharaoh will lift up your head and restore you to your office, and you shall place Pharaoh's cup in his hand as formerly, when you were his cupbearer. Only remember me when it is well with you, and please do me the kindness to mention me to Pharaoh, and so to get me out of this house. For I was indeed stolen out of the land of the Hebrews, and here also I have done nothing that they should put me into the pit." When the chief baker saw that the interpretation was favorable, he said to Joseph, "I also had a dream. There were 3 cake baskets on my head, and in the uppermost basket there were all sorts of baked food for Pharaoh. But the birds were eating out of the basket on my head." And Joseph answered and said, "This is its interpretation. The 3 baskets are 3 days. In 3 days, Pharaoh will lift up your head from you and hang you on a tree, and the birds will eat the flesh from you." Oh my God, that's terrifying. On the 3rd day, which was Pharaoh's birthday, he made a feast for all his servants and lifted up the head of the chief cupbearer and the head of the chief baker among his servants. He restored the chief cupbearer to his position, and he placed the cup in Pharaoh's hand. But he hanged the chief baker, as Joseph had interpreted to them. Yet the chief cupbearer did not remember Joseph, but forgot him.
Gosh darn it.
Wow. What? That's so messed up, man. How could you forget him? He freaking interpreted your dreams extremely accurately and you forgot him?
It's probably a little bit of like the like scaredness too. You know what I mean? Like you're actually
Too scared to say something about him.
Yeah, it's like, hey, actually, this guy that you put in prison told me that this would happen. Pharaoh would be like, "What'd you say?"
Yeah. He definitely should have, though.
Yeah.
He definitely should have. That's messed up.
Do you want to finish Joseph and post like just the Joseph story?
Yeah, I mean, I'm down with that.
All right. So,
All right.
how are we supposed to end these videos?
Pretty sure we're supposed to say like and subscribe.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. But like I don't want to do something like cliche, you know, where like it's like, oh, smash that like button. Like, we can't be doing that.
Yeah, no, but when you say it, you got to actually say it, like smash that like button. You know, you can't.
It just sounds cheesy though, because like people always say it and they always do, I'll smash that like button.
Yeah, but it's not. You're saying it wrong though. It's smash that like button. It's
I am saying it just like you're saying it, Bryce. Smash that like button.
No, you got to use your chest more. You gotta say smash
that like button.
No, that's no.
Because I sound exactly like you.
No, you don't.
Like, thank you guys for liking and subscribing to our YouTube channel. If you were interested, please tune back in next week. We are dropping new videos on Mondays and Thursdays. And God bless y'all.
Yeah, also don't forget to smash that like button.
Any of that. Gosh, dang it, man. God bless. God bless y'all.